What is going on, guys? For today's video, I will show you the best Flicker Strike Berserker build in PoE Exile 3.26. This is a fast and aggressive melee setup, built for non-stop action. We're using Rage, Frenzy Charge Sustain, and big crits to keep the Flicker Strike going without stopping. This setup has smooth mapping, solid bossing, and enough defense to survive even the hardest league content. If you're looking for this build's PoE building, then click my link in the description. And before we continue, thanks to U4GM. They are a pro website that provides PoE1 boosting, items and even currency with a cheap price and fast delivery. They have over 17,000 positive comments, and this website is really worth a try. So make sure to use my discount code KAID for extra 6% off. The Flicker Strike Berserker build in 3.26 is all about the raw speed, high burst damage and smooth mapping. The core mechanic revolves around generating and sustaining frenzy charges to keep the Flicker Strike chaining non-stop. And in this patch, Berserker remains a top tier choice thanks to its massive damage scaling and the rage generation. The build uses Terminus Est early on to generate frenzy charges through the crits, which works well alongside the aspect of the Carnage for a huge damage boost. Later, it transitions into a crafted high physical two-handed sword for the endgame scaling, ideally with a high flat physical damage, crit multiplier and attack speed. To keep the build consistent and self-sustaining, the gloves will generate frenzy and endurance charges on a hit or a kill. They remove the need for expensive uniques like the Feral Sphere and allow smooth bossing and mapping alike. Defensively, the build is surprisingly solid. Evasion is converted into armor, Molten Shell is layered on top, and the Arctic armor will reduce incoming hits. Instant Leech, Fortify, and decent life pool will round out the build nicely. It's a fast-paced, aggressive build with a satisfying clear and strong single target, especially once fully geared. It thrives in white to red maps and scales well into the endgame with enough investment. So let's take a look at the leveling. The core idea is to build up a high speed melee with a solid sustain and decent defenses, and I started by leveling with the Sundern. It's still completely busted for early progression. Once we are ready to go full Flicker, I tested both Warrior Legacy and the Ancestral Fury. Turns out that they don't stack the way some people hoped, so don't bother doubling up, you will just lose value. Multi-strike is still a non-negotiable for a Flicker. The build just doesn't feel right without it. I'm running Terminus Est for easy frenzy sustain, and scaling the aspect of the Carnage to boost our damage. Defensively, I've layered on the Molten Shell, Arctic Armor, Fortify and Instant Life Leech. Even post-nerf, that Leech Mastery is still crazy strong. And then once you have some currency, upgrade to a crafted two-handed sword with big physical and crit multipliers, and swap in gear with focus on flat physical damage, life and resistances. The real MVP here are the gloves that help sustain both frenzy and endurance charges, making the Feral Sphere, which is super expensive, unnecessary. Next up, let's talk about the Ascendancy choices. The first priority is aspect of the Carnage. This is your big damage spike early on, giving you a flat 40% more damage right out of the gate. It's one of the strongest early Ascendancies in the game and sets the tone for its high risk, high reward build. After that, we grab the Crave the Slaughter to start building Rage, which synergizes perfectly with Berserker's playstyle. Rage not only adds more attack speed and damage, but fuels the later Ascendancy passives that make the Flicker Strike feel incredibly smooth. Then third, we have the Rite of Ruin, which fully unlocks the Rage mechanic. This node is what gives you the massive scaling, tripling the rage bonuses and giving you the stun immunity while at max range, and even boosting your attack speed and movement to ridiculous levels. This is what makes the build feel fast and fluid. And lastly, we take the Ancestral Fury, which helps with the clear by giving you attacks and a chance to splash. It's especially good with a high attack speed, allowing you to clear packs effortlessly. These four Ascendancy nodes are essential for both offense and quality of life, and once you have them, the build really starts to pop off. Then next we got our skill tree, and it has been optimized to stack damage, speed and sustain to fuel an aggressive Flicker Strike playstyle. As a Berserker, we naturally get ton of attack speed and rage scaling, so the tree prioritizes physical damage, sword nodes and the rage generation. Starting from the Marauder area, we path into the Duelist and the Ranger sides to pick up major sword clusters like the Blade of Cunning and the Slaughter. We also grab key crit nodes to boost the Flicker Strike chance to deal big crits, which will help with the burst and clearing speed. Life is still important. While we rely on leech and recovery, we want to pick up efficient life clusters to maintain survivability. You'll notice a balance between offense and just enough defense to keep you alive while jumping around the screen. The tree supports impale scaling and ensures our accuracy and the crit multipliers are high enough to make each flick count. Timeless Jewels and the cluster sockets are included to squeeze out even more damage and utility. It's tuned for rapid tempo, rewarding you for staying mobile and aggressive. Every point here is pushing towards more raw power and a smoother skill uptime, especially while rage and leech mechanics are in full effect. Next up we have our skill gems. For the main setup we use the Flicker Strike, linked with the Brutality, Multi-Strike, Close Combat, Fortify and the Ruthless or even Pulverize, depending on your preference. Brutality locks us into pure physical damage, but gives us a massive damage boost, and Multi-Strike is key for speed and chaining. Close Combat and Fortify will provide more melee damage and survivability, while the Ruthless will help against tougher enemies. For utility, we run Molten Shell, linked with the cast when damage taken and increased duration for automated defenses, and then Summon Stone Golem gives life regen, which offsets the Berserker's degen. For movement, we use Leap Slam, linked to the faster attacks, along with the Assassin's Mark and Mark on a hit, or automated crit boosts on bosses. We also have Wall Double Strike as a burst tool paired with the Berserker and the Blood Rage, which we use all three to melt bosses in split seconds. Finally, our aura setup includes Determination for armor, Precision for accuracy and crit, Arctic armor for defensive layering, and the Hydrosphere for impale support or proximity control in certain boss fights. Next up we have gear. Your gear setup is fine-tuned to maximize DPS and sustain while supporting rage generation and the unique mechanics of the skill. The core weapon is Corruption Stinger, which is the Ezomite blade crafted to pump out massive physical damage and the synergy with the Impale. Terminus Est is also in this build for the Frenzy Charge generation early on or for budget setups. On the body, the Bronze Light will boost mobility with a huge movement skill buff and attack speed, which is perfect for a Flicker Strike. Then the gloves, the Ceaseless Feast, are used for instant recovery with a life gain on hit and a synergy with the Overleech. Boots and the helmet will offer resistances and some quality of life stats, like the movement speed and life. Accessories like the Mind News amulet will help to boost physical damage, crit and accuracy, which are essential for this build's consistency. Then flasks are mostly defensive and utility based, with the Diamond and Amethyst flask helping with the crit reliability and the chaos resistance. Also, the Pride Timeless Jewel socket will help to stack even more physical aura scaling. Keep in mind, you want to stay rage capped as often as possible, so anything that supports attack speed and rage sustain is worth investing in. This setup balances offense and enough defenses to keep the Flicker Strike looping reliably without getting you killed. Next up we have our Mercenaries. For your Pantheon, go with the Soul of Arakali as your major god. It helps to reduce damage over time and synergizes well with the Berserker's Leech and the degen mitigation. Pair that with a Soul of Rislata as your miner for improved life flask sustain when you're not at full health. This is especially helpful during boss fights or non-leech map mods. If you're running more chaos heavy content, then consider swapping in the Soul of Sharakari to reduce chaos damage taken and gain poison immunity. You won't need a traditional anime guardian or the Spectre for this build, as we are mainly a pure solo setup that keeps the focus entirely on us. Next up, let's go over the gameplay. The core loop is simple: press the Flicker Strike and watch everything explode. Thanks to the Multi-Strike and Frenzy Charge generation, you'll consistently be teleporting to enemies, killing them instantly and chaining through the packs at a lightning speed. Bossing is more smoother than you'd expect, so activate Berserk, pop your flasks, and unleash Wall Double Strike for maximum burst. The build doesn't rely on the totems or the setup time, so you're always active and reactive. Defensive layers like the Arctic Armor, Determination and the Fortify will allow you to dive into packs formidably, while Leech and Molten Shell will keep you alive through the most incoming damage. Leap Slam is your gap closer and escape button when Flicker is not optimal, and is great for dodging boss mechanics or even moving fast. Overall, this is a high velocity and aggressive playstyle, where you are rewarded for momentum and punished for hesitation, which makes it incredibly fun and engaging to play. And now last but not least, let me tell you a few tips and tricks to keep in mind. First, always keep the Blood Rage up. This is your passive Frenzy Charge generator, and also gives a small DPS boost. Make sure that you have flasks with reduced charges used or increased duration, so that they stay up longer during big fights. Also, use Leap Slam between the packs to manually position or escape sticky situations. So, let me know what you think about this build in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, then you definitely don't want to miss my previous top 10 best builds video, where I showed even more powerful builds. So click the screen now and I'll see you in the next one.